In 2023, live from the John Hammond Street. Good morning and welcome to the morning news here on TV3. I am Godwin Asideba. Coming up this morning. And the bulletin, developing nations to press rich nations for more action as climate change expected to dominate UN General Assembly meeting in New York. Some major roads in the Savannah region have been cut off, bringing economic activities to a standstill. Registration of potential voters has been halted at the Boko Municipal Electoral Office of the Electoral Commission following an attack on electoral offices. A while later on the international front, Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso have signed a security pact promising to come to each other's aid in case of rebellion or external aggression. We have details of these and other stories coming your way in the next 20 minutes. Find this news on DSTV, channel 279, also streaming across the world on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. Do get interactive with us. Good morning and welcome to the program. We begin from a rather sad note. The Upper West Regional Police CID has arrested a 22-year-old man for allegedly defiling a 4-year-old kindergarten 1 pupil. The incident occurred on Saturday afternoon, September 16, at an uncompleted building.
The suspect, Befi Boateng, is currently being held by the Wa Regional Police. According to reports, the victim's mother, Saadatu Hamza, heard a cry while looking for her child.
A few distance from our home, my youngster attended Makaranta. After closing, her colleagues were seen fooling about, but my child was nowhere to be seen. I tried to find her by asking around. I heard my child's sobbing voice coming from the direction of an unfinished structure next to our home, so I made the decision.
Concerned neighbors intervened and apprehended the suspect after the mother raised an alarm. The victim was sent for a medical checkup at the Wa Municipal Hospital.
I've never known the suspect or even met him. When he approached, he had already spoken twice. I'm afraid and unsure of what to do. I simply can't manage my inner self in this circumstance.
The Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit of the Wa Regional Police has commenced further investigations after receiving a formal complaint.
Back to the capital, it's been 8 years since the United Nations adopted its Sustainable Development Goals meant to improve the lives of billions by 2030. Ahead of the 78th session of the UN General Assembly, the United Nations has warned that the world is far from achieving the SDGs, including ending poverty, eradicating hunger, and building climate resilience. Sani Abdul Rahman is in New York for the meeting and has filed this report on climate change's impact in Africa.
Africa is the least contributor to climate change, yet the continent is the most vulnerable to the devastating impact of the climate crisis. Communities continue to suffer from drought and devastating floods, taking away lives while pushing millions into extreme poverty. The floods in Libya are statement enough, according to some experts, on how Africa is paying the price for gas emissions of the rich and powerful nations. Thousands of people, their homes, their possessions and their livelihoods have all been washed away.
This is a tragedy in which climate and capacity has collided to cause this terrible, terrible tragedy.
In Ghana, the World Bank warns that at least 1 million more people could fall into poverty if urgent climate actions are not taken.
The devastating impact of climate change undermines global efforts to tackle hunger, poverty and ill health, improve access to clean water and energy, and many other aspects of the Sustainable Development Goals. This simply means the SDGs cannot be achieved without first tackling the climate change issues. But powerful nations have failed to honor their commitment under the 2015 Paris Agreement, which seeks to strengthen the global response to the climate crisis. The world would, however, be watching this week as global leaders gather here at the United Nations, hoping for some actionable commitments and not the usual rhetoric. Sani Abdurrahman, TV3 News at the United Nations.
Back to Ghana, and in the Savannah region, some major roads in the Savannah region have been cut off, bringing economic activities to a standstill. The more than 12 hours downpour, which started around 4:30 p.m. on Saturday evening across the region, washed away major bridges while flooding some areas. Portions of the Bole-Sola-Wa Highway have been cut off, leaving commuters stranded. The Mankango-Salaga-Tamale Highway in the eastern part of the region has also been flooded, affecting the transportation of goods to the Yeji, Atebubu and Ejura markets. The Salaga-Kitoi road has been inundated by floodwaters. Some buildings, including a mosque in Bole, have also been affected. We'll bring you updates on that subsequently. The just retired Police Commissioner COP Alex Mensah has confirmed he is to contest as Member of Parliament for the Asante Bekwai constituency. COP Alex Mensah officially retired from active policing on Sunday, September 17, and has already laced his boots for a political race. He is the highest-ranked senior police officer on a leaked audio tape plotting for the removal of the Inspector General of Police, George Ekufu-Dampare. Away from that, registration of potential voters has been halted at the Boko Municipal Electoral Office of the Electoral Commission following an attack on the electoral offices. This has left hundreds of potential registrants yet to have their names entered on the electoral roll frustrated.
The limited registration exercise began at the Boko Municipal Assembly Office on Tuesday, September 12, and initially ran smoothly for 3 days. However, when prospective voters arrived at the center on the 4th day, they were met with disappointment as the office had been closed. The decision has left hundreds of young people, especially those who recently turned 18, in a state of uncertainty.
I'm very sad as a Ghanaian and a citizen of Boku. For the past 3 days, we have not seen even a single person in the EC office. I was there today myself to check. Yesterday I was there. The day before yesterday I was there. I came with a lot of people to register, and we cannot find them.
But if they don't come for those who want to vote, to register, they cannot vote. So we are just pleading on them. Then whatever be the case, they should come and help us to do the registration.
Prospective registrants are urging the Electoral Commission to resume work to ensure they can be registered.
We were about 10 in number, and we couldn't find any of the staff. We don't know what is happening. So we are pleading on the EC and government to come to our aid. I don't know whether our case will be treated as a special case or maybe that ends it.
A visit to the Electoral Commission office in the Boko municipality on Sunday, September 17, revealed 2 officers were present, but no registration was taking place.
So I don't know whether are they going to extend the date for us or so that we're able to do it or what, we don't know.
The Upper East Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, William Obeng Dakwai, in a telephone conversation, explained that the registration exercise had to be halted due to an attack on the Electoral Commission officers after a 3rd day. This led to the recall of electoral officers to Bolgatanga for safety reasons.
I don't buy the idea that they will take their equipment to one particular place just because they say they can't come to the EC electoral area. In the first place, that was the reason why well-meaning Ghanaians were calling that they should do it at the electoral areas. This problem wouldn't have come.
Still on the exercise, the opposition NDC is alleging a shooting incident at the Vatican City Registration Center in Techiman as part of a larger plot by the ruling NPP to manipulate the 2024 general elections. The party has meanwhile urged the police to strengthen security at the Techiman South Registration Center.
On Thursday, September 14, the Vatican City Electoral Commission Registration Center in Techiman witnessed violence leading to police firing warning shots. According to reports, some thugs attacked an anti-robbery police officer and began assaulting him. In an attempt to escape, the officer fired warning shots to protect his life. The NDC alleged that the violence was part of a larger strategy to intimidate people.
The million question that begs for answer now is that why will a party like the NPP, which claims to be the apostle of democracy, martyr of the rule of law, behave in such an uncivil manner? Why were they spotted in groups of thugs to intimidate and harass first-time registrants? It's obvious yesterday's incident was a dress rehearsal of their intention to create mayhem in the next general election.
Still on the limited voter registration exercise, the Member of Parliament for North Tong, Samuel Okujetuga-Blakwa, fears hundreds of prospective new registrants in the North Tong district may miss out on the ongoing limited registration exercise. This, he says, is due to transportation challenges and the centralized registration center.
You are supposed to make sure that you provide access to everyone, and you are shirking your responsibility. You're saying that, oh, after all, voting is not compulsory, so you can't be bothered. Please, let's have respect for our people. Let's have respect for the Constitution of Ghana. We cannot continue to marginalize our people, to disrespect them, disregard them, treat them with utter contempt. That cannot continue.
At Juapon, Togome, and Fojoku, hundreds of eligible registrants and their parents expressed their inability to travel to Bato, which is the only registration center created by the Electoral Commission.
People in Abereke, before they come to Juapon, that's the motor fare, 70 cedis. Before they come to Juapon, and from Juapon to Bato, it's almost 40 cedis before you cross the river. And more we have to pay 2 devices before you go and register. Can we afford that money?
They are 8 years now. How to cross? So they want us to bring the machine here to get in here.
If they are saying that we should go to Bato, we can do that. How are we going to get the money? Because some of us are even suffering to get money today.
Some assembly members in the country are demanding remuneration instead of the allowance currently paid to them. This, together with adequate resources, they believe will make them effective and accountable to the electorate.
The Local Government Act of 1993, Act 462, establishes the various local government structures. Per the structure, assembly members work with unit committees to facilitate development at the community level. Section 16 of the Local Government Act further requires them to maintain close contact with their electoral areas, consult the people on issues to be discussed at the district assembly, and collate their views, opinions, and proposals. But for years, some assembly members, particularly those who serve in deprived districts, have not been able to deliver on their mandate due to lack of resources.
Whatever will go on your community, they will see an assemblyman. But there's no any income coming in the pocket of the assemblyman.
In some communities, communal activities and engagement have not been possible. This is because the 5% component of the District Assembly Common Fund, which is to finance community-initiated projects, is not released on time.
Gone are the days that assembly is a voluntary work, but this time around it's more than a full-time job. You'll be there, somebody will call you. At the same time, somebody will call you at Impoase. At the same time, somebody will call you at exhibition.
Assembly members remain the only category of elected persons who are not remunerated for their services. But what could be the push factor for people to go into local politics?
I realized there were a lot of things we can do to develop Tetegu, but those things are not coming. I don't know. We have leaders, but we don't have voice. So I'm coming in not because of the benefits that I will get in person. So that is what I'm bringing on board to make sure that we emancipate ourselves from this kind of underdevelopment in the community.
The Municipal Chief Executive for Koliklote, Ni Ajiteria, wants the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to initiate processes towards the improvement of assembly members' welfare so they can deliver on their mandate.
The resources needed should be made available at the local level for this to happen.
The Electoral Commission has set December 19 for the 2023 District Assembly elections across the country.
Hundreds of young women from the north migrate each year to the south to engage as headquarters, popularly known as Kayaye. These girls often return home with no skills to impact their livelihoods. My colleague Christopher Mwako visited Wale Wale in the West Mamprose municipality and has come through with this report.
Usually between the ages of 12 and 35 and predominantly from the northern and upper west regions, migrate to southern Ghana in an attempt to escape poverty and harmful practices. Sheila left her home in Wale Wale in 2018 after she completed junior high school, but could not further her education due to financial constraints.
When I completed in 2018, though the free SHS program had been implemented, I couldn't buy my mattress and other items, including transportation, so I had to leave for Accra to do Kayaye.
Since returning home in 2021, Sheila has enrolled as a seamstress under the Providing Livelihood Opportunities and Support for Kayaye Porters, Kaya Port project by CRS, which has since trained 260 Kayaye returnees.
It's a disrespectful job. We sleep in the open, which exposes us to all forms of abuse, including sexual harassment.
Handworking training is something that is helped a lot. I'm begging for them. They shouldn't go to Kayo again. They should sit and train.
In a 2018-2019 mapping exercise by the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, there were more than 100,000 Kayaye nationwide, including their children. 85,600 of these girls work in the Greater Accra area, 22,500 in the Ashanti region, and about 1,000 in the Bono Ahafo region. They earn an average income of between 20 and 50 cedis per day.
It's a social issue. Several interventions have been designed by many organizations to address the issues, but it hasn't solved the issue yet.
It's the best way to build a nation. Having your own skills helps you to earn a living.
United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 8 seeks to, amongst others, substantially reduce the proportion of youth not in employment, education, or training by 2030. The government and stakeholders will have to do more to ensure its attainment. Christopher Mwako, TV3 News, Wale Wale.
Back to the studios, I am Godwin Asidiba. Let's do international news now. Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso have signed a security pact promising to come to each other's aid in case of rebellion or external aggression. The three countries are struggling to contain Islamist insurgents linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group. The three countries have also seen their relations with neighbors and international partners strained because of the coup. All three countries were members of the France-supported G5 Sahel Alliance joint force with Chad and Mauritania, launched in 2017 to tackle Islamist groups in the region. Relations between France and the three states have soured since the coup. That's it for the news this morning. My name is Godwin Asidiba. Do log on to 3news.com for more news updates. But the show continues with Roland Walker and Na Ashoko. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, well.
Looking fly as usual.
Oh, thank you.
Did you notice Godwin taking mini selfies in between the bulletin?
Oh, he did,
Yeah, because
he's always a selfie man, I think.
He's looking super fly this morning as usual. Godwin, did you have a good weekend?
Oh, yes, I did.
What did you do?
It was restful. I was home.
Okay.
A bit of movies, research here and there on stuff that I'm working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And eating.
And eating? Wow. Very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
Roland,
thank you.
How was yours?
I was okay. I took a certain interest in the showdown rally by Kennedy Japan, and he did it in his Medina Zongo Junction enclave from Ayimensa down.